Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Welcome back to another edition of Love Reading, and I hope your Ramadan has been super a beautiful start with a bang, and we're full of energy and everything. So today, the book I'm going to be looking at is something called The Productive Muslim, and where faith meets productivity. So the point of Ramadan is not that we sleep the whole day and we stay up the whole night or whatever they do in some very hot countries, is we turn the whole system around because we're not eating, so obviously our productivity comes down. So this book was designed to live because he did say that one of, our troubles of Muslims today, one of our greatest challenges as a Muslim ummah is how to make our faith relevant in our postmodern world. And today it's all about being productive. And, of course, we know in our own way we were, but we do need to put productivity in a way that we don't just become laid back, inshallah, mashallah kind of people. So this book is by another beautiful person. His name is MFarris, and he lives in the States. He was originally from doesn't matter where he was from, but he's in the States, in Texas. And again, I've met him. He's been to South Africa also, and we met him there. So he's got a whole platform, and there are many other kind of workshops going on. But his book, The Productive Muslim, was a beautiful one. Many key factors about him. Let me just read you his titles. He talks about in his acknowledgement about, just valuing the family and so on, of how he was motivated. And in the introduction, what he had to say that, that it's whatever we learn from the Western way, he relinks it back all to our faith, and how he says that Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam also said the early hours are the blessed for my deen. So we have suhoor, we have iftar, after suhoor, fajr. So that is such a productive time, and he tries to bring all that with the Western gurus of what he's learned maybe, and really make it within a system that makes us Muslims productive. So he's got a beautiful thing. So he starts with what is productivity, and he calls it's about focus times energy times multiplied by time. So it's time, energy, and focus. That's what determines how productive you can be. The other thing a bit further on, I'm not sure if I'll get to that reference, is how, because the energy levels in the morning so you do, somebody else calls it eating the frog, meaning do the most difficult thing first. So that's a quote from somebody. It's in the book, so when you read it, it will come up. It's like in the early morning when you're with more energy, more focus and time, get the hardest job done first. And we sometimes procrastinate and leave the hardest job for the evening. So even like on food level, I'll just share for myself, is that I know we want hot food, we want iftar, so all that is left for those beautiful, precious last minutes, last half hour of after Asr to Maghrib, when we're going to have our iftar, it goes in the kitchen because we want it hot. Now, if you can turn it around somehow and have your food ready, either in a Wonder Bag, in something that it's just fine. It's lovely having fresh food, but we also have the tradition that you start with a date or you start with fruit, in other words, raw food. After your salah, you come back and you do it. But this is just by the way. It might or might not come in the book. But anyway, so that's his first chapter. Then he goes on to talk about Islam and productivity, what our faith says about Islam, and then spiritual productivity. How can we be more productive? How can we use this month to do more memorizing, to learn more, and to be more effective? So that's why I thought it was really useful to read or review this book early on in this blessed month, so that maybe we can jack up our own productivity. Then he goes on to physical, productivity, time management, about sleeping, about staying fit, and not getting exhausted. So again, the focus on those things. And then our social efforts. I want to then go on towards the end. He's got the chapter on. But what I love is that he brings in small little cartoony kind of things, not cartoons, but, like little mind map situations so that you can grasp what's in the so it's very reader friendly, the book. So towards the end in the chapter, if I'm not mistaken, 8 or 9, chapter 8 is about Ramadan and productivity. So what does fasting is not designed to kill productivity. We're supposed to be even more. And so how do we overcome that challenge? So the few things he said, again, and also linking it back in this beautiful month of about akhlaq and about getting. So a true measure of a man is known how he treats someone who can do him absolutely no good. So this living life as an agenda-based life, that's not what we as Muslims are about. We do things fi sabilillah, we do things for Allah. And I remember somebody started a good service for mankind, and then they did say that if you abuse the service, you're gonna be we're going to then penalize you. Then you're going to have a charge. So immediately, instead of before even appreciating what the service is, how it's done, it's like, oh, but if they're having a charge, how can it be fi sabilillah? So sometimes we're too busy criticizing each other and miss the point. Sometimes when people put a fee and put, whenever they're doing workshops or other things, you do have to put a price, because otherwise people don't take it seriously, maybe. I don't know. So he does a brilliant job of, he's produced the book, he's got these workshops, you attend them. Some things he offers for, they're just there for all of us to read, whether via email or other things. And some things you do need to have a price on. So some of the tips he brings out is on, which I loved for Ramadan, was about, he really puts them down, is what is the trigger that makes you be caught in a hook, what hooks you, kind of. Then he talks about what is the routine that gets you there, and how is the reward, what is the reward of that negativity that comes. So, for example, what can happen is about developing, instead of the trigger when you see somebody who has a higher social or professional status than you boil with envy, perhaps, and perhaps you even, and what you get is more envy and more negativity. So you shift the habit, and you develop a new one. So when you see somebody with a higher social or professional status than you say, MashaAllah, la quwwata illa billah, and that the person gets more. And ask Allah to bless you as well. So these are the kind of, and then you feel happy and blessed. So this is the beauty, that in our faith we have all these beautiful things. MFarris has just brought it down, itemized it, broken it up into like a workshop position, and made it much more feasible, easier to manage for us. So then the chapter I wanted to go into was about the daily habits, spiritual habits to develop. And where is this? This is still under developing decent habits. So one is about, in university years, in other times when we are always in a rush, the fact that we get our fard salah done for every time, we feel cool. But no, the beauty is that the 7 spiritual productive habits we need to imbibe is pray the sunnah prayer. So the sunnahs, the nawafil, that's all key. Remember Allah after salah, not just, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, and then we're off just in a bat. So sit, even if it's easy to rush out after salah due to our busy lives, but the answer is for how long or what, at least 5 minutes to 7 minutes. This is what I'm giving it to you from the book. The morning and evening askars, the remembrances, how to sit, the beautiful set. It's so easy now. If we have suhoor, then we have fajr, and then we stay up all the way to ishraq, how productive that is. I remember in in the COVID years and others, that you want to go to Umrah, you want to go for Hajj, and the situations don't allow. But the beauty of our faith is that we have an offset for everything. So, like they say, for a child, even if he smiles as his parents, he looks at them lovingly, he earns himself a Umrah or a Hajj. I'm not sure which one. But even the same thing, if by sitting up till Ishraq, you merit, the reward of a Hajj. So it's like, oh, okay, I didn't get to go into Hajj, and, much as you love to, but maybe the work that it was too busy, or, you're being shoved around during Tawaf. Well, you will get, this is a beautiful sitting for Askar after your morning and evening. It's a beautiful time. And they are true stress relievers at this time, and energy boosters that really work for us if we apply them systematically. Then nothing happens randomly. Do it today, never tomorrow, then next Friday, just leave everything for Friday, leave everything for Ramadan. No, these are habits which maybe we can start in Ramadan, but they last us throughout the year. It's no point going on a real high. I'll sit on my itikaf and I'll do this and I'll do that. And then after that, even our regular prayers out of the window. Here also it says elsewhere about do something small but consistently. That has more value because it gets ingrained in us rather than, it's like the sprint. I can sprint for maybe only 5 meters or something, and then afterwards I'm panting and, I'm really hobbling along. No, that's not the point. The point is you bring in factors which you can sustain. The night prayer, alhamdulillah, in Ramadan, we have this beautiful culture of Taraweeh, of listening to beautiful recitation. So that is beautiful. But further, develop the habit of praying tahajjud. Get up even if you get, just a bit before your suhoor time, and less emphasis on the food, more on maybe on the salah until the Fajr time kicks in. The Dhuha's a prayer. That is another beautiful time before Zohar that you can throw in. What's beautiful is because these are in the busy time of the day, the suhoor, and then so that's also key what MFarris is suggesting. And recite the Quran. One was make a dua before you sleep. Again, so it can be in the form of askar or your private duas, which are always Allah. It's a beautiful thing that we're making dua. We're asking Allah, and it counts in our credit that we're asking Allah, and it counts as prayer. And also the reciting of the Quran every day. And then I like how he says it. He said recite 30 minutes. So notice I didn't say finish one juz or one surah or this. He said the amount you read is not as important as the quality of your understanding. So if you spend even one ayah and understand it fully, or more key things come out for you, well then do it that way, and start by today. So then he's again developed just these beautiful little things for you to go through, and it's wonderful if whoever has access to this book, The Productive Muslim. And if not now, I'm just reading here to give you ideas, and these are all things that you can carry. It's not, oh well, I missed doing this in Ramadan, so what do I do now? No, you take it forward for later on. And I'm just giving you these in a great hurry, just in a nutshell, just to motivate. The whole point is just to motivation for myself, motivation for others, in that, let's say, breaking habits is facilitated. All the other, whether it being coffee, cigarettes, snack breaks, whatever it is, in Ramadan, we are much more effective in that. Then Ramadan does improve concentration and focus. And so that's where you try to stay with. So, so he refers to the challenges which also come in Ramadan and how to offset them. So, it's a beautiful chapter on that. And then the last one he writes is about, productivity after death. So I love it. I know it as a phrase called, what is a legacy you leave behind? What is the legacy you wish to leave behind? And that is, what is the productivity you're leaving behind? Is what do I leave after I'm gone? So what do I leave after I'm gone is what, invest in your children for sure. Make sure that they are righteous, good-mannered, and whatever they do after you're gone will only serve you will come to you as credit too. And the beautiful thing for us to know is, if you're getting credit for what your children do after you're gone, after I'm gone, it doesn't in the least minimize their credit. I love, there was, a pious person, he had a beautiful dream, and in which Allah is telling him, he said, Isaac, don't think there's any shortage in my treasures. So, we have this concept of the pie. If you get some credit, then I get less credit. We think of it as a fixed pie in economic terms. But the beauty of Allah is that, this sadqa jariyah, this continuous reward. My grandma taught me how to say the salah. She gets all the credit for any salah I say, plus whoever taught her, plus whoever. My mother taught me the Quran. Whoever then taught her. They all get continuous credit of anything good I do. And so obviously the best thing I can do for after I'm gone is invest in my children, invest in an ongoing charity, whether it's a project of a mosque or a well or other things, the standard one, hospitals, many other things, and also for yourself. Okay, so these are just the kind of record your interest, record. I love also this thing, how to keep away from the phone, is keep a piece of paper next to you while you're at the salah. And whatever you want to check out, whether it's on Sheikh Google or other things, write it down. And let's just get back also to the pen and pencil and paper and pen, and do that, and that will serve us best of getting a bit more productive in our Ramadan. So with that, I leave you today, and I pray it's motivated somebody to try and be a bit more productive, and maybe you all reap the benefits of it. So with that, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.